a check, who do they make that check out to? I can't hear you guys. Right. If they tell you, well, I'm going to give you cash and you can buy a money order, what do you do? You don't make the check out to you and then you cash it and buy a money order. You're supposed to just take. Matter of fact, when we write business, all I ask for is a void check. I don't ask people to write me a check for $450. I don't tell them I need a money order. And none of that type of stuff. All I need is a void check. Because the right way to do this is when you walk out of that house with a void check and you give them temporary insurance, they are covered from the time the door hits you in the rear. You understand that? You know what kind of big deal that is? One of the reasons we had to get rid of somebody or they got rid of themselves, they did like 30 or 40 applications like that and never submitted once in 3 months to the insurance company. In some cases it was 4 months. You know what kind of liability that person put our company in? They'll put us all out of business. One person. So don't take this stuff lightly. This is serious, serious business. And compliance is not here to scare anybody, but you need to know how to behave, have the right behavior with compliance. So I'm going to bring back up our CEO. He's got a couple of things before we close for lunch. And our chief's going to bring me back up. So put your hand back again for Mr.
Great, thanks Chris, thanks Rocky. Compliance always is a scary thing, especially with Chris like telling us we're going to go to jail, we're going to be $1,000 lashes, we're going to steal all of our money, we're going to chop our kids' legs off and everything, right? That's about it. Like done, we're done. But the good thing is compliance will keep us in business. Compliance will allow our company to continue to grow. Compliance will make sure we are ahead of our competition, we're doing the right things. Okay, so that's what compliance is. Compliance actually will let us make more money. Right, Chris? Yes. Well, let's make more money. That's the key. And a couple points I want to make. One is when we're selling insurance. Selling insurance has to be to meet the needs of an individual client. It cannot be to sell insurance. Okay? Selling insurance has to be to meet the individual needs of the client. That's why I've sold so much in my life. And this was a couple years ago. I worked with an individual, and in 4 months we sold about $1.2 million of target premium life insurance. I don't know if very many people in the United States have ever done something like that. The two of us, we weren't high net worth individuals. These are people probably between the ages of 55 and 70, and the average policy was probably around $8,000 of target premium. We sold $1.2 million of target premium in 4 months. And you think we did that by selling it, or you think we did it by matching and meeting the needs of the consumers? It's the only way you can do it. It'd be impossible to do it any other way. Simply because we focused on problems they had and we matched it with insurance. Okay? And that wasn't something that was abnormal. I think everybody can do that, actually. I don't think I was special or the guy I worked with was special. I think we just focused. We were really good at focusing on meeting the needs of the individuals. Okay? That's how we sold so much. So the first thing I'm going to talk about will be when you're in the dime room. People I know are in love with Index Universal Life. And you have to fall out of love with it. You have to fall in love with meeting the needs of the individual consumer. Whether that is term, whether that's return of premium term, whether that's universal life, guaranteed universal life, whether it's index universal life, whether it's second to die, whether it's whole life. The product doesn't matter. What matters is you meet the needs. Because what's going to happen, and you have to look at, there's two things. There's compliance for the law, and then there's compliance for what I think would be integrity, morality, and honesty. And there's two sets of compliance. You have to decide which rules you're going to buy, and I prefer you go by both of those, both sets. So if you meet with a family, and it shows they did $1.5 million of coverage. First of all, they freak out. They're like, oh my gosh, 1.5, you got to be kidding. In all actuality, that's what they're going to need though, right? Very few families need less than that. But you show up and the husband has a $100,000 policy, and he thinks that's too much. So you immediately think, oh my gosh, I'm going to have to sell him something closer to $100,000. By doing that, you put not only the family in jeopardy, you put QS2 in jeopardy, you put yourself in jeopardy by falling into that hole. Okay? You have to make sure the family is insured and make the proper recommendations. Whether they follow it or not, that's their choice. But like we was talking about, if you go and you have a $1.5 million policy, we can get them a term policy for maybe $300 a month, just as an example. Okay? So we get them a term policy that protects him and maybe her, $1.5 million of coverage. And it scares them because it's $1.5 million plus maybe their old policy is $100, now it's $300. And we might then go back and try to sell them on, well, you know what, but if you buy an IUL, it's $250,000 coverage. It's more than your $100,000, and now we can get retirement income out. Right? And that's true, right? Right. But what have we just done? Have we met their needs? Not even close. We tried to make a sale. We tried to make a sale, and that is, first of all, stupid. Second, it's painful. And third, you're going to hurt that family in the long run. Okay? So you can't do it. You have to sell them the proper amount of insurance. That's the first thing. Because life insurance is for one purpose only, death benefit. Then we have all these other add-on benefits that we try to sell, like supplemental retirement income and all those things. Now, if they can afford to buy the $1.5 million of coverage and either do maybe a convertible term rider or buy the IUL, great, then we want to sell that, don't we? Won't we like to give all the benefits in one if they can afford it? Sure. Heck yeah. Heck yeah. But if we can't, what happens if a year later, if dad dies, you deliver a check for $250,000 to that family and you know it's only going to last them 3 years? Now what do? Try to make up all these kind of excuses why you didn't sell 1.5 and try to talk to somebody if you did the right thing. But you did. Not even close. Okay? So we have to make sure compliance is to make sure that we are fulfilling and meeting the needs of that individual family. Okay, that's the first thing. And you can do it. We can always convert later. A lot of times what I do is I'll sell a term policy, and it's a big term policy, $300 term policy. I'll either convert it or I'll sell them a backup policy at the end. Once they start making enough money or they have enough to fulfill that IUL, because I love IUL. I do, but I love helping the clients more meeting their goals. So that's the first thing. And the second thing when it comes to compliance, you got to make sure when you're out there, you can't talk about life insurance if you're not licensed, right? You just can't talk about it. And that shouldn't stop you from moving forward with our process, because our process is now, no matter what. If Rocky recruits me, if I don't have my license, I don't wait and get my license to do my 5 field training shows. And that's what a lot of people do is they think they're saving themselves money. Oh, I'm going to wait, I'm going to now participate in those 5 field training sales by getting half the commission for it, right? That's like saying, okay, I'm going to wait to go through college 10 years after I stop working. Very many people succeed that way? No. So our plan is you have to do 5 field training sales. If not, you're not going to be an associate. You're going to be a training associate. That's what came out in the memo. Okay, so if Rocky recruits me, and I do not do my 5 field training sales in 90 days, I'm no longer an associate. I am what's called a training associate because I didn't do what I was supposed to. I was not a good trainee. Okay, so we're going to assume you're going to do your 5 field training sales for compliance, but if you don't, you're out of compliance because you cannot get trained unless you go through those 5 field training sales. It's the best way for you to learn from someone like Rocky, like a Sue, like a Chris, like a Charles, like a Sure, someone who's already sold the policies. Isn't that the best way to learn? Can you learn by reading anything really on how to submit life insurance policies? There's no way, no matter what you think. It's impossible. You have to go through field training. So that's again part of our culture, and our culture is going to be compliance. So you got to make sure, one, you don't talk about life insurance unless you're licensed, and even if you go on a field training sale, you don't talk. If I go to Rocky, he takes me to my 5 field training sales, I don't say one word other than Rocky, here's Bob, Rocky. Rocky is one of our top leaders and top experts in life insurance and family protection in our company. He has a big, huge team, many years of experience. I'm going to let him walk you through your process. I shut up, I watch Rocky, the master, do it. That's a good way to learn. And that's what I'm also going to stay compliant. I'm not going to say anything that's going to, one, hurt the family to make a decision, two, to get me in legal hot water, Rocky in legal hot water as well, and guess what, the family's probably going to be protected in a better way. And then I'll learn what to do and what to say based on his experience, on Sue's experience, everyone's experience, and so on. Okay, so those are some compliance things to remember. Follow their lead. Don't try to make it up on your own. Don't try to make systems up on your own. Watch what they do and follow. If you ask Sattie what to do, she's going to tell you, okay, follow this. Don't try to go around and find a better answer. That's the answer, right? There are so many times someone will call Sattie, we'll call Rocky, we'll call me, we'll call Jim Johnson, we'll try to get the different answers that they want. I mean, someone's trying to be out of compliance, and I'll let them to take the lead from their leaders, follow through, and things will work out right. Rocky, anything else you got?
Yeah, let me come up. That was good. Give him a big hand. All right, guys, we're going to take a break.